Hey guys, this is Leo, and I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the folks at Audible for sponsoring this episode. If you've been living under a rock for a while and don't know what Audible is the world's leading audiobook service owned by Amazon. They have thousands of books at your disposal and ready for you to enjoy. If you go to audibletrial.com/ddpodcast, you can get a 30-day free trial and a free audiobook and 2 Amazon originals just by signing up. You also get a free audiobook and 2 Amazon originals every month. You can listen anywhere you want, whenever you want. Best thing about Audible? It's commitment-free, guaranteed. You won't be charged until after 30 days and can cancel anytime you want. No questions asked. Remember to stay informed, inspired, and entertained. Again, that's audibletrial.com/ddpodcast. Saludos amigos, and welcome to the Discovering Disney podcast. I hope you had a great week. If not, I hope this makes it just that much better.
I'm Morgan, and I love Disney.
I'm Leo, and before we started this podcast, I hadn't watched any Disney movies.
So we're going through all of the movies to educate Leo on the magical world that most of us grew up with.
I'll be talking about my observations I had while watching the movies.
And I'll hit him with facts, information, and anything else I found interesting while researching.
Would you like to start us off?
All right, here we go. Released in May of 1948, Melody Time is the final compilation film to add to our roster.
Thank God.
True. 7 shorts make up this film. The first short is an original one called Once Upon a Winter Time, followed by a play on Flight of the Bumblebees called Bumble Boogie, then the American folklore story Johnny Appleseed, a poem by Joyce Kilmer called Trees, Little Toot, which is based on a children's book by Hardy Gramatke, followed by Blame It on the Samba, and finally, the story of Pecos Bill. Once again, many celebrities of the time worked with the Disney Studios on this film, including Roy Rogers and his horse Trigger, the Andrews Sisters, and Ethel Smith. These celebrity collaborations continue to prove to be profitable as the movie grossed around $4 million in theaters. Walt's 2 favorite child actors are also in this film, Luana Patton, who we saw in Song of the South and Fun and Fancy Free, and Bobby Driscoll, who we also saw in Song of the South and will be hearing as the voice of Peter Pan in a few movies. Some notable effects include Some notable credits include Ub Iwerks on visual effects, Mary Blair and Claude Coates on animation, color, and style, Harvey Toombs as a character animator, and Ollie Johnson and Milt Kahl as animation directors. This movie was all over the frickin' place, put me to sleep one second, and making me feel like I was on a bad trip the next. But what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I definitely felt like there was something in our drinks that we were drinking that night or eating that night. I forget what we were doing. I think I just ordered food or something.
Yeah. And
I was like, I think this thing was laced because swear to God, it's all over the place right now. Okay, so we're just gonna go straight into the movie here. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sound good. So first off, we watched this on Disney Plus, which again, as we do every single episode of the podcast, we know we're not going to get sponsored by Disney ever in our lives. But if you don't have Disney Plus yet, I would recommend you go get it. It's $12.99 a month. You get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, all included in that bundle. If not, I'm pretty sure it's like $6.99 or something like that for just Disney Plus. It's worth it. Anyways, this is one of the few movies I would definitely say go watch it first. Yeah. Watch the movie first and then come back, or watch along while you're listening.
Because of the shorts being so varied, it's kind of hard to go over everything that happens while we're talking about it. So yeah, I would say go check out the movie and then come back to us. If not, proceed with caution.
Of course.
Things may not make sense. But
It's definitely not going to make sense because it's literally so hard to describe on what happens on some shorts. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay. But it starts off with an acknowledgement that some of this is racist and they know they messed up portraying the stereotypes that they portrayed.
Which, good on them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it should be done.
Good on them. That I felt like it was a good point to make, now. now that they acknowledge that, hey, this wasn't okay, and it's still not okay, sort of thing.
Instead of censoring it, taking it out, being like, hey, we're owning up to our mistakes. Here we are.
Exactly.
Take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Okay. So it started off with that. So that was really nice. I thought that was like a great thing that they did.
Yeah. But it also did kind of make me say, oh no, what are we getting ourselves into?
Yeah, but it didn't turn out to be that terrible. I mean, it was pretty bad sometimes, but it wasn't like the whole thing was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it wasn't the entire thing.
It wasn't bad enough where I was like, I don't want to show this to my future children.
There was just a couple panning shots that made us cringe.
And I was like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts off with Once Upon a Winter Time. And God, as soon as this popped up, I was in a bad mood because I was like, again, another love story. Freaking great, right?
Everyone's a sucker for love stories.
God, but it's the same love story every time. I predicted this love story before the short even finished, and I was right. So these nameless characters take a sleigh to an ice lake, and they start skating around together. The animals, with two bunnies or two rabbits, whatever, are watching and joining along, like mimicking the same moves and stuff like that that the nameless characters are doing.
Yeah, it's basically two parallel love stories. One human, one bunny.
How original. Right? And I put here, once the love music is done, it's a story of how the two characters get into an argument and then they fight. Then, oh no, something bad happens to the female characters because keep in mind there are bunnies who are mimicking the humans, and the male characters save the day and win them back. Cue the love music again. I literally wrote this before any of that happened, and I was right. I was right.
You're psychic.
They got into an argument, they fought, they like separated, and they're like, and then what happened? They saved them from, I think, falling off like a waterfall or something. Yeah. And then now they're in love again.
Yeah.
Great.
I literally have no fun facts or anything on this. I have one singular comment that I wrote down while we were watching it. They went skating on a lake, and then all of a sudden now it's a river and they're falling over a waterfall? That made no sense to me.
It's just really generic, and that's why I don't like it. That's honestly why I don't like it. It's really generic.
Yeah. On to the next one?
The next one.
Bumble Boogie.
Bumble Boogie. Yeah. I wrote down all the titles here.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Bumble Boogie. I actually really did like this one. Because, like you said, it was set to Flight of the Bumblebee, but it was a different take on it. It was like jazz music. And
they said something about the classic Flight of the Bumblebee, which it's interesting to know that Flight of the Bumblebee was already a classic in the 40s.
When did Flight of the Bumblebee come out? Do you know?
I want to say... I have no idea. I'm Googling it as we speak.
Okay. I'll just continue talking. But yeah, it was set to Flight of the Bumblebee, but it was like jazzified. So they had a bunch of like trumpets, trombones, saxophones, stuff like that. And it was set the whole time.
It was composed in 1900.
1900. So 40 years later, it's already a classic.
48 years later.
48 years.
Technically.
So, well, if you want to get technical, then 50 years later. Anyways. So it was a bee that was basically trying to find a flower to land on. So I'm assuming to like pollinate, because that's what bees do. Mm-hmm. And then like the flower started like dancing and boogieing along to Flight of the Bumblebee. And it was really cool. A lot of cool colors, a lot of cool animation that was happening. And I wrote down here, because I remember making this comment to you as we were watching the movie. This is what Fantasia should have been.
This is a discarded idea from Fantasia.
That is what if Fantasia was that whole thing. Oh my god, it would have been so much better.
But do you think you could watch a whole movie of that?
Fantasia, that's what we did. But it was boring. I mean, you can't tell me Fantasia wasn't boring. There were some parts in there. There were some parts in there where I was like, God. I remember watching the movie in our living room, and I was like seriously falling asleep because I was like, I can't do this anymore. This thing's it's dragging on so long.
I feel careful about talking bad about Fantasia because it's so revered, It's held so high.
Listen, I can have a hot take about whatever I want. And my hot take is that Fantasia was visually beautiful, visually striking, and it was probably like, revolutionary for the time.
Mm-hmm.
For the time.
Yeah.
But right now, in the year of our Lord 2020, it's terrible. I don't like it. I can honestly, truly say I don't like Fantasia just because it didn't capture me like other movies have. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie and you shouldn't see it. I'm saying that I personally don't like it and I thought it was boring. Simple as that. So, I mean, you can throw me up on a cross if you want, bro, but
we have gone on a huge tangent.
Anyways.
Back to Bumble Boogie. It gave me Pink Elephants from Dumbo vibe.
Again, Fantasia. But whatever. I digress. I know. It's not, but I mean the whole like going along to a music
but trippy
is what I think Fantasia should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And is Fantasia 2000 better?
I don't know. I have never seen it.
You've never seen it?
I have never seen it.
We'll look forward to that. I look forward to that.
In a long while.
Well, yeah, it'll be a long while, but I still look forward to Fantasia 2000. So that way I can come back to this episode and be like, remember when I said... Anyways, so it goes on with Flight of the Bumblebees. And if you ever heard Flight of the Bumblebees, it's really, really long. Or it's like, it's not really long, but it's really fast.
It's really fast. It's very frantic.
Yes. And the bee is trying to run away from the notes because at some point the notes actually became like a snake. It was like piano notes, and then it turned into like a big snake that was trying to chase the bee. It was really cool. The whole thing was really cool. Again, it's really hard to describe in words what happens, but you should just go watch it. If you have Disney Plus, you should just go watch it.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for this one, if you have anything.
I'm all done with Bumble Boogie. It was a fun little short. Not really very notable, but fun.
Mm-hmm. So the next one is The Old Settler, which
Johnny
is
Appleseed.
the story of Johnny Appleseed. Yep.
I watched this in elementary school.
Yep. If you don't know the story of Johnny Appleseed, I'm about to go through it. But if you do, well, you know what happens. Really. So the Lord is good to Johnny, apparently, right? Because he's blessed with these apple seeds. Okay, listen. Before I even get into this, God, the religion.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy-handed.
In this whole movie is seriously like...
There are two shorts back to back, Johnny Appleseed and the one directly after it, that are just... They feel like Christian propaganda, and it honestly made me a little uncomfortable. Like, I know it was a different time, but it just felt so heavy-handed. And like I said, I watched this in elementary school. I went to a Christian elementary school, so...
Yeah, but it wasn't the one after this. The one after this is something else, but we'll go into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Lord is good to Johnny, apparently, because... he's been blessed with these like apple seeds and stuff like that, so he can grow apple trees. But then Johnny gets upsetty because he can't join the journey to the Westie because pioneers start like, driving by, I guess is the best way I could put it, even though they're carriaging by, caravanning by, Carol Baskins by. And
dated reference.
No, yeah, dude. Oh my god, 2020. Anyways, they start coming by, and Johnny's like, dude, I want to become a pioneer. Like, I can spread the good word of the Lord. And Johnny's like, wait a second. I'm no pioneer. I'm not big and burly. I'm not, any of the characteristics that a typical pioneer is. Therefore, I can't be one, and I'm depressed now. And then that's when his guardian angel appears, which I don't know the name of, but I know his guardian angel appears, And the angel convinces Johnny to join the pioneers and plant apple trees along the way. Because the guardian angel's like, hey, you may be weak, scrawny, and little, but you got apples. Johnny's like, shit, you right, though.
So back in the time of the real Johnny Appleseed, apples were not the big, red, juicy things that we think of when we think of apples. They were small and hard and bitter, and so they weren't really edible. They weren't very good for eating. However, the apple cider they created was a lot safer to drink than drinking water at the time. So in that way, Johnny Appleseed, by introducing apples to so much of the country, he actually did end up saving a lot of lives.
Interesting fact. Factoid. So yeah, he ends up joining the journey to the west and planting apple trees everywhere. And it gets to this one part where he plants apple trees in this kind of clearing, this forest clearing. And he plants a whole bunch of them to create like an apple forest or whatever. And this is when the animals are like, yo, there's a dude here, let's try and scare him off because he's messing up everything, you know? And then they send like a skunk at him, but then the skunk ends up like falling in love with Johnny because Johnny's so kind and gentle and blah, blah, blah. He pets a
skunk and everyone was like, wow, he pet the stinky cat.
Yeah, it's good now. You know, he's good, guys. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's... I put here, please kids, don't think that animals will just magically warm up to you and let you pet them. You will get harmed. Yeah. And you will probably die.
Like there was like a bear, right?
Yeah, there was like a bear
and a mad cat.
Dude, there was like a mountain lion and shit. There was like a fucking mountain lion and they were like, skunk said it was cool.
Peer pressure.
Fucking A, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, don't fucking do that, dude.
This is backtracking a little bit, but when he's watching the settlers caravan by him, you see some of the settler kids hanging out. And the settler kids, my favorite artist in the whole world was Mary Blair, and she worked on this movie. The settler kids are so her style, and so seeing them, I just kind of cheered up a little bit because I love her so much.
Whack.
It's cute.
I don't remember what they look like, honestly, so I can't.
They looked like It's a Small World dolls.
Yep. Been there.
And that's...
Been there.
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah, been there. So, yeah. The animals warm up to Johnny magically, and then it fast forward to, like, the native people, the Native Americans.
That's why the disclaimer is on there.
Yeah, that's why the disclaimer's on here, because of the native peoples. That's bad.
It's a very, very racist depiction, race caricature of them. And
it's just not good. And I was like, ooh, that.
We were cringing as we were watching it.
That's not good. And
I think when they first came on screen, the exact words out of my mouth were, "Oh, holy fucking shit, here we go."
I don't remember that, but. Yeah, but anyways, the native peoples who were like dancing around and having like apple pie, apple cider, whatever.
They were
a whole bunch of apple
themed
like Thanksgiving sort of type of feast.
Yeah, it was the native peoples and white people all having this party together, and some of the dancing footage, a lot of the dancing footage actually, was reused from a segment we've seen before, The Martins and the Coys from Make Mine Music. It was recolored animation.
Interesting.
Which we're going to see a lot more of that when we get into the 70s and 80s, but I digress.
Yeah. So yeah, they that happened. And I put here, God, I feel like this whole section is taking forever because I really do feel like, but this one and Pecos Bill at the very end. But I feel like these two were probably the longest ones. I don't know
I think they were too.
I don't know officially if they were, but I just like it really felt like this
You
took
could feel the time.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently Johnny planted trees for 40 plus years. I was like, God, what a dude. You know, what a guy over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I put this whole thing is literally Christian propaganda, and you cannot convince me that it's not.
Because
Like,
it is.
It really is. It really is. It's literally like Johnny did this because the Lord said it was cool, you know, sort of thing.
The real life Johnny Appleseed, his name was John Chapman. He
Yes,
was a
they
missionary.
mentioned that at the beginning. They're like, the story is of John Chapman, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he was a missionary for, quote unquote, the new church, which is also known as Swedenborganism.
Excuse me?
Swedenborganism. That's the church that he was the missionary for.
Okay. Uh-huh. Interesting.
So as he was going, spreading the word, he would plant apples.
Okay.
And he brought it to a bunch of different states and even parts of Canada.
That's not America.
Really?
I love you, Canadians. Take me with you in your free healthcare.
Please.
Anyways.
Trudeau 2024.
So, yeah, it's just Johnny and like his animals are like having a good old time. And then it caught me so off guard.
Oh my God.
It literally caught me so off guard. Okay, this is what happens, right? So Johnny's like, oh man, look at all these apple trees I planted, you know? What a good day for apple tree planting. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a little nap before I plant more apple trees. And they're like, cool.
He takes a nap and he's snuggling the animals.
He leans against the tree, like he sits down against the tree and he starts to take a nap and the animals are snuggling next to him. And then his fucking soul comes out of his body and he's like, oh, what a good nap. And then he looks at his body and he's like,
what? I have, so from my first take of it, the notes I have written down are, oh my fucking God, he fucking dead.
I put, wait, LOL, Johnny fucking dies.
And his guardian angel is there with him and he's like, yeah, come with us. And Johnny's like, no, I'm not done here. And then his angel is like, but we don't have many apples in heaven. He's like, shit, on my way. He throws on his hat and he goes.
Johnny literally dies.
Johnny literally dies at the end of this short. You literally watch his soul leave his body.
It caught me.
You literally look at his dead body.
It literally caught me so off guard.
So off guard, both of us.
It was so funny.
It was one of those things where it caught us off guard so hard that we were both sitting there in silence for a minute while we were processing what was happening.
This is why I say that, though this is why we say actually that sometimes this movie literally feels like you're having a bad fucking trip because it like, oh, okay, the story of Johnny Appleseed, I know how this goes, blah, 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 and then he fucking dies.
Yeah.
He literally dies at the end and it shows it.
Yeah, you see a dead body on screen.
His fucking soul comes out of his body and he's just like, hey.
I mean, it's not graphic or anything. He just looks like he's sleeping, but
yeah,
it's still...
it looks like a ghost coming out of his body. That's how it looks like.
A
but
dead
I know
body.
his fucking soul is coming out of his body.
Ugh.
So that's that.
Yeah.
that's the old settler. Do you have anything else for it?
Literally, the only other note I have is, in 1956, Johnny Appleseed was featured in a crossover comic book story with Chip and Dale. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, animals. He was a animal magnet.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. That's I don't wanna say what I just thought. Johnny must have gotten a little alone. Anyways.
Oh God.
Anyways.
Get out of here.
Okay. See you later. So the next short is probably one of my favorites ever. Little Toot.
Little
Toot. I fucking love the short of Little Toot because it goes everywhere.
Oh my God. If you thought Johnny Appleseed was crazy, watching these two shorts back to back had us rolling. Had us sitting there in bed, just like, I had to sit straight up and put my hands to my head and go like, what is going on right now?
It was trippy, to say the least. So, it's a little boat. It's a little tugboat. He's a boat. His name is Lil Toot. And he doesn't give a hoot. He don't give a hoot. He's little. He don't give a hoot. I put here, he's so fucking cute, dude.
He's adorable.
He's so cute. I love Lil Toot. He's the cutest little shit.
And they introduce him. It makes him look like he's this little tugboat tugging a giant boat. Yeah. And then he pulls out and his dad's tugging the giant boat and he's just tugging a line of paper boats and it's like, aww.
And then like, I put here, he's a little tugboat that nearly killed Big Toot. LOL. Because like, I think he got like in his way or something. And like, he almost crashes the fucking boat or something. But yeah, so
that's not even the beginning of his antics.
So, like the police boats are like looking for Lil Toot because they know he fucked up or whatever. And I put, oh fuck, la migra, Lil Toot run.
I put, even tugboats are scared of the popo.
Yeah, true. And then he starts to get into these antics. And I put Lil Toot is messing things up. The frowny face, right? Mm-hmm. And okay, listen. This shit's about to go left real fast.
Shit is about to hit the fucking fan.
So, Lil Toot, I forget the context of what happens, but I think he's pulling. Oh,
no, he's messing with his dad.
No. He's trying to help his dad because Big Toot is trying to like bring the big boat to like harbor or something, and Lil Toot
starts trying to push it.
He tries to push it from the back, but instead turns the rudder, so the fucking big ass like Titanic cruise line looking boat starts fucking spinning out of fucking control, and it literally crashes into the fucking city.
It cuts to a scene of the ocean liner sitting in the middle of a bunch of buildings that it broke,
and I was like, people are fucking dead.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Lil
There's like
Toot
a
is
mass
a murderer.
Lil Toot is a fucking mass murderer. And there's nothing you can convince me otherwise. It was his fault. Lil Toot's a mass murderer.
He killed people and then he ruins his dad's life too because nobody will respect his dad anymore. His dad's having to haul the trash boats. And
like his dad's like all like depressed and stuff, and they really yeeted him away and said, yeah, not our problem anymore. Like imagine, okay, this is literally how I imagined it. It was like, imagine a little kid caused a mass murder, right? And then the police took that little kid, like just threw him to the desert and said, see you later. Not our fucking problem anymore.
Yeah, they take him out to the ocean and just
leave him there. They just leave him there.
Just leave him there.
And I'm like, dude, that's Lil Toot. How the fuck you gonna do that to Lil Toot?
There was a line in this section that caught me off guard because it made zero sense. The narrator said he was homeless as a poker chip.
I don't know. What?
Yeah, homeless as a poker chip. That I was like, what?
If any of you know that reference, please leave it in the comments.
If any of you can make sense of that, please.
Please, like I don't
let us know.
I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, whatever. So I forgot what happened here, but I put, oh hey, it's the Billie Eilish part of the song.
I think you said bad guy. No, the things were going bad guy.
Oh yeah,
bad
yeah.
guy.
They were like bad boy.
Bad boy.
Yeah, bad boy. And I was like, oh hey, it's Billie Eilish.
It was starting to get really weird because they were like, bad boy.
Yeah, it was really weird.
No good.
It was the Andrews Sisters.
Yeah, so the Andrews Sisters, while their singing career continued on until the 70s, this was the very last film they ever worked on.
Oh. Well, I love the Andrews Sisters. Yeah. I think they're great.
Who doesn't?
I think they're just quite neat.
They're swell.
I think they're neat. Okay, yeah. So, okay, again, more shit starts taking left here because now he's in the middle of the fucking ocean and there's a goddamn sea storm. But that just happens to appear.
Before that, he's like cruising by a lighthouse, and even the beam of light like goes around him, so it won't have to touch him.
Yeah, because he's a bad boy. He's a mass murderer.
He's literally a mass murderer.
He's a mass murderer. No one wants a piece of him, right? But then he goes into a sea storm, and there's, oh my god, I just read my notes. So there's a boat, like another big Titanic-sized carrier or whatever, that gets stuck on like a rock, And little Toot's like, this is my opportunity to redeem myself, to save the day, right? So little Toot musters all his courage and like, does his tugboat thing. And he literally, like, his back propellers somehow like lets him fly up into the air and just yank it out of the goddamn rocks.
Yeah, he's flying.
He literally fucking flies away with it. I don't understand how this...
I get it's a cartoon, but at some point you gotta sit down and go, how far is too far? Like, yes, we have sentient tugboats.
And tugboats do not cause mass murder.
Unless.
Wait. But, yeah. And then everyone gets wind of Little Toot. Everyone gets wind of Little Toot saving the day, so they go and help him. He brings the boat back, and he saves the day. ?
Yeah.
Because that's literally the end of the short.
Now they're accepted back into society, we're assuming?
He's like, well, the people you saved outnumber the people you murdered, so it's cool now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the end of Little Toot.
This short was so popular, it was re-released in theaters as a short film 6 years later, and then it was also filmed on the TV show Walt Disney's Disneyland. A few sources credit Little Toot as a background character in the House of Mouse, but I couldn't find any screenshots or any definitive proof or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to have some comic book stories of his own in the 70s.
Yeah, I can see how he can be popular. He's really fucking cute.
Yeah. Now on to the most boring part.
Oh, I literally have 2 notes for this.
I have one.
The thing is called Trees. What an original name.
It's just a reading of a poem.
Guess what it's about? Trees.
It's about how trees are better than people because God made them that way.
Mm-hmm. And I put more Christian propaganda. Seriously,
I put Christian
bro?
propaganda part 2.
Seriously, bro? I don't... Anyways, gonna gloss over trees because...
It's forgettable. It's...
I don't care.
Completely unnotable.
Cool. Whatever. And then blame it on the samba. It's the 3 caballeros, minus Panchito.
Yeah, Panchito has been replaced with that crazy bird from the 3 caballeros.
Yeah, it's not... I put where's Panchito because he's not there, and I was upset because my boy wasn't there. But at the same point, I put at least it's Donald and Jose. Yeah. Smiley face.
Yeah. You love yourself some Jose.
I do love myself some Jose. So basically, fuck Donald. But yeah, they were getting down to samba. They were...
I do want to say real fast, it is Jose because he's Brazilian. Mm-hmm. It's not Jose, it's Jose. Yeah. Just for everybody listening at home, don't go giving us hate because we say Jose. He's Brazilian.
Yeah, it's a difference. Mm-hmm. It really is. But yeah, they were dancing and they were getting down to samba. They were, jamming along, doing the little dancey dance sort of thing. And all of a sudden, there was this live action part that came out of nowhere. They were like in a fishbowl, and she started appearing in the fishbowl. And she was playing the piano, or she was playing the keyboard, and they were dancing on the keyboard in front of her. But she was getting down.
Yeah, so...
Ooh, she was getting down.
Ethel Smith, her playing was super impressive.
Who?
Her name is Ethel Smith.
Ethel Smith. She was
a famous pop organist of the time.
Okay.
The year before this, her divorce from famous actor Ralph Bellamy was a hot topic in the news. Hmm. And the more I looked into this lady, the more mysterious she got.
Oh?
So, some sources say she never had children, some say she had 1.
Okay.
Some say she had 2 husbands she divorced, and some say 3 or 4.
Okay.
Some sources have her marrying the legendary blues artist Bo Diddley. But some say he married an entirely different woman who also happened to be named Ethel Smith. And finally, nobody knows the first name, identity, or dates of marriage to one of her husbands. He is only known as Mr. Spyro.
What the fuck?
This woman is an enigma.
What the fuck? Mr. Spyro.
I'm looking at all these different websites trying to get some definitive answers to my questions and just getting more confused.
I'm so confused.
It was so confusing.
I'm so very confused, if I'm being honest. Wow. Well, Ethel.
Ethel.
Eth-
Ethel.
Ethel Smith.
She can play a mean organ.
Well, she was getting down on the keyboard. And she came back because, like, after the organ part or the keyboard part, whatever, and then, like, she disappeared for a second, and then she came back and she was playing the fucking bongos. She's getting down with the bongos too.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 you know, whatever. This is so cool.
I think this was probably my favorite short.
And after the bongos disappeared, she could dance.
Yeah.
She was dancing with Donald and Jose. I was like, damn, that's hella tight. She's the triple threat, like you said. Triple threat.
Organ, bongos, and dancing. And mysteriousness. Quadruple
threat right there, bro. Ethel. Being named Ethel.
Quintuple threat.
There you go. Cinco. And I made another joke here that Fantasia 2 is really good so far because that's what it reminded me of. It was very trippy again and a lot of music. I enjoyed it, you know?
It was a lot of fun.
And then, it was more like trippy sounds and colors. And I swear whatever I ate was laced because I am tripping balls right now. But that's all I had to it.
That's all I have to it.
Okay. So it comes down to the last short. Pecos Bill. Or, excuse me, as they pronounce it, Pecos Bill.
Pecos.
Because apparently, you know, Pecos is pronounced Pecos.
There's a street here in Las Vegas called Pecos.
Yeah.
And Siri always pronounces it Pecos.
So I guess it's Pecos.
But I'm not going to stop saying Pecos because...
I'm going to try my best to say Pecos throughout this whole thing, but, you know.
It feels weird.
Yeah. So, okay, so it starts off like just absolutely boring. It's like a narration over like a desert or something like that.
It's Roy Rogers and his horse.
It doesn't start off that way though. It starts off with the desert and then it goes into the live
with
action
the
part.
tumbleweed.
Yep, it starts off just in a random desert and a narration, and I was falling asleep through it, and I put, where the fuck is Pecos Bill? Because like there was no sign of anybody. There was like two turtles and that was it.
This was the point where you were like, I want to turn this movie off. I'm done. I don't give a shit about Pecos Bill. Let's turn this movie off.
Let me see here.
Because it was getting late and we were getting tired, and you were like, I'm done. I don't care.
Yeah, I think I put it in my notes here somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, and then this is when the live action part came in. I put more live action Disney, god damn it.
It was pretty cool the way they did it though, because you had a bunch of people sitting around a campfire in like cowgirl and cowboy outfits and everything, but the entire around them, like their entire environment was animated.
Really?
Yeah, remember they zoomed out and it's live action in the center and then animated all the way around?
I don't remember it being animated. I remember it. I literally put here, this totally isn't a set inside the most obvious soundstage. Like, it looked like a soundstage. I don't remember it being animated at all. It was
animated.
I don't believe you.
I
don't believe you. Listen. No. Okay. I could be proven wrong here. But I'm going to stick to my guns here that it wasn't animated. Any of you who watch this, you guys are going to think that I'm dumb or that I'm the most correct person in the whole world. But either way. So, they were starting to spin tails around the campfire, and the kid, the child, the boy, I think he was the boy in, did you ever find that out? In Song of the South, was he?
Yeah, he was. It
was
him
the same
and
boy?
the girl.
Oh, same.
They were the two from the Song of the South. Yeah.
Same child actors. Okay. So the boy was like, "Let me, spin some tales about cowboys and blah blah blah," and the guy was like, well, you already know the story of Pecos Bill, so blah blah blah," and the boy was like, who's Pecos Bill? And then that's when immediately everyone around the fucking campfire was like, "You've never heard of Pecos Bill?"
They were like, "Excuse me?"
Like it was a fucking war crime to not hear of Pecos Bill. And oh my my god. So Roy Rogers, was it Roy Rogers, the guy?
Roy Rogers, yeah.
Roy Rogers was like, well, it's a tale about a cowboy, a horse, and a woman. And the boy was like, there's a woman in this story? Well, it ain't no good. So I remember putting in my notes, fuck, a woman in a story? Wrap it up, boys. It's done. I can't fucking take this anymore. And,
would you pass this to Leo?
okay. You pulled up a picture of the...
I pulled up the actual video, so you can hit play.
Okay. No, but this part right here, this does not look animated to me. So to describe what I'm seeing, there's like animals and stuff that appear to be looking into the campfire, but then it zooms in to just the people sitting around the campfire, and that's what I remember being like, okay, this is a fucking soundstage right here.
Yeah, the wide view is animated. And then once they get in, it gets harder to animate, you know?
Yeah, they're sitting in a soundstage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
point 1
so we
for
were both
Leo.
right. We were both right.
Point 1 for Leo.
Listen here.
But according to the map that it shows, Texas is accurate. And it's a funny joke because Texas literally takes up the whole map.
Yeah.
And the
all
short,
the other states are like pushed into little corners.
I think like Nevada or something. Nevada. Like California or something like that. There was just like old timey cowboy stuff. And I paused it here for whatever reason. I think that was to tell you, like, dude, I don't want to fucking watch this anymore. Like, this is dumb.
No, you reversed it. You were like, did you see Nevada? And I was like, no.
Yes.
And you were like, take a look. It says Nevada.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it does say Nevada.
And then we laughed like, ha ha ha, Nevada. And then that's when I noticed that this short is 20 minutes long. This is a 20-minute long short.
And yet I only have one note on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I have the entire fucking short right here. Yeah, and then I put right here, I don't give a shit about Pecos Bill, bro. Like, I couldn't care less about him. So apparently Bill was homeless since he was a baby. Okay, cool. Like, he fell off the back of a caravan. And so
maybe this was where homeless as a poker chip was said. I think this might have been it.
I don't know.
I think it might have been here instead a little too, but still. If you have any clue, please.
Yeah, leave it down in the comments. Let us know. So the coyote was just going to raise him as his own, I guess. Now the coyote was like, a human baby. Cool. My baby now. Yeah, and it was really funny because the mom coyote was feeding the children, and how
animals feed their children.
How animals feed their children
when they're babies.
And then like the mom coyote kind of give him like a head nod, and Bill was like, "Shit, my turn." And it was just like, oh.
He picks up one of the other baby coyotes, yeets him away, and takes his spot.
And I was like, cool. Bill just sucked on a wolf titty. Cool, I guess. And then, fuck. I don't know what this note is, but I'm sure we'll get into it. Excuse my stuttering, by the way. So it goes into Bill, like, grown up, and him like traversing the land, and it was really funny because him and his horse, who he saved, by the way, because apparently Bill's just a fucking legend. Him and his horse were going down, like, just whatever desert, and he started to fucking yodel, and I was like, wait a minute. When did Bill learn how to fucking yodel? And it wasn't like bad. It was good yodeling. And I was like, huh?
And I was like, did the wolves teach you this, Bill?
Seriously.
Did the wolves teach you how to yodel?
Seriously. Just really random and out of nowhere. And I put here, I literally have no way to fucking describe what is happening. I don't remember what happened here, but I think it was like the narrator, like, describing how specific things were made, because I remember I put a note here. Okay, so Bill dug the Rio Grande because he was thirsty, and he used his fucking guns as like a speedboat. So it was just a really, really trippy animation sequence that, like, Bill, like, literally created the earth pretty much.
Yeah, he creates like a whole bunch of stuff. This is a pretty sizable chunk of the short.
Yeah.
So in later US releases, they digitally edit out his cigar.
Okay.
It gives him some really weird hand gestures,
Mm-hmm.
but it also completely removes one of these sections of him creating something. So there's a part where he lassos a tornado,
Mm-hmm.
and he rides it, and then he rolls a cigar completely in his mouth. Like, he puts it all on his tongue, closes his mouth, and pulls it back out, and it's a cigar.
Huh.
And so that was completely removed in the US edit.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then it gets to another racist caricature of the same peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Racism Part 2.
Yeah, I put more racist native people treatment because it was like Bill antagonizing the native peoples, and he was like shooting
Chasing
at
them off of
them.
their land. And,
Yeah, I was like, "Ew, that's not cool."
And it's like, ooh, the historical accuracy is a little too on the nose here.
Mm-hmm.
For him chasing them off the land, not the racist part.
Yeah.
Clarifying what I'm saying.
Yeah. So then, like, the narrator goes like, "Oh, he was this and that until he met a lady." And it was, I put, wait, what the fuck? This lady is riding a catfish.
Yeah.
She literally comes out of the fucking water riding a catfish like a horse. What? What?
Another part where we were like, wait a second.
And apparently, I was having the weirdest trip for like the past hour, because like, seriously, like, it's some really trippy animation.
And they're just treating it like it's normal.
Yeah, like whatever. No, you don't ride catfish.
You can't just show us this and not even acknowledge it. You have to explain why this lady is riding a catfish. A giant freaking catfish. You can't just leave us in the dark here, people.
Exactly. So, Billy Boy and his boo thing are a thing, and his horse is jealous and sad over it. Mm-hmm. It's the funniest thing to me. The horse is so jealous. And I put here, this movie needs to be seen to believe, because they were getting married. They were going to get married. And then the horse decided to sabotage the wedding, right? Yeah. Because what was she trying to lasso?
She wanted to ride on the horse into their wedding.
Mm-hmm. But what was she trying to lasso? And then like it came short.
I don't remember.
She was trying to lasso something, and then like she couldn't lasso it. No. The horse bucked her off into the fucking atmosphere. And
she kept landing on something that was bouncy.
She was landing on the fucking ground. She wasn't landing on something that was bouncy. She was landing on the floor and bouncing back up because her momentum was that fucking huge.
And she was getting higher and higher every
time she bounced. So Pecos Bill decided, I'm the best cowboy there ever is. I'm just going to lasso my wife and it'll be cool. And he went to go lasso, but he missed and he came up short because his horse was stepping on the rope to lasso her. So she kept bouncing and bouncing higher and higher into the fucking ground, and it eventually onto the moon.
Yes, she lands on the moon.
And it
stays there.
I put, this movie needs to be seen to believe. This bitch is fucking dead, dude. Like, there's no way. That's just not a dead corpse just going up and down to the moon.
She's on the moon, and Pecos Bill gets depressed. Pecos Bill goes back to the coyotes.
Yeah, he goes back to the coyotes and goes into, like, the highest mountain and apparently starts howling, and that's why coyotes howl.
Yeah, he started howling, like, crying over despair over Slewfoot Sue, which was her name.
No.
And apparently that is why coyotes howl.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more note for this. So there's a really risque joke in this short.
Okay.
When he and Sue kiss for the first time, his guns immediately unholster themselves and just start shooting off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's very impressive they got that past the censors in that time.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the short. I put thank God this is fucking over because that was the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. So, what was your favorite part?
Oh man, can I really pinpoint something? Like, I don't know if I can. I think probably the thing that will burden my mind the most is how Little Toot is the biggest fucking murderer that I've ever seen in my life, and probably Bumble Boogie. That was really fun. I really, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I liked the Samba one. That one was really fun.
I really liked the Samba one too. Just everything that included music was cool.
Mm-hmm. Except the first one.
I don't even remember what the first one was, and we just talked about it.
The ice skating one.
Oh yeah, whatever, dude.
What score do you think audiences gave it?
Oh man, well, considering two characters made it into their own thing, I'd assume that it was pretty popular. So I give it like 7.5 for audience rating.
So on IMDb, it's a 6.3.
Oh.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 49%.
Oh God.
So the average comes out to 5.6.
Oh wow.
This is the third lowest rating on our chart.
Oh, well, I liked it.
It's above Make Mine Music and Saludos Amigos.
Oh God.
What score do you think critics gave it?
Oh God, my ratings are skewed here. I don't know. Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. I want to say 7, but at the same time, I want to say 6.5.
It got a 69 on Metacritic.
Oh,
nice.
It's a 7. Nice.
And an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, dude, every time we do one of those critic ratings, I get really close or I get on the dot. And it makes me think that I'm a Disney movie critic. And
here's the thing, like, those are good ratings, but it's still not even top 5 for our best rated movies.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
It's number 8 out of the 13 movies we watched.
Jeez.
Yeah. So speaking of the 13 movies we've watched, where does this rank for you?
I actually already discussed this with you.
Yes.
Right after we finished the movie, I said this is where I think the movie belongs. I actually made a switch around. I switched some movies around in my list because I thought maybe this movie deserved to be higher because I think about it more and more. Mm-hmm. So if you wanna do that, because I don't remember what it was.
So number 1 for you was Bambi.
Yes.
Followed by Pinocchio,
Mm-hmm.
Three Caballeros, Dumbo, Saludos Amigos. That's your top 5. Your 6th spot is Melody Time.
Yep. I moved Saludos Amigos to number 5 because
we talk about it. We reference it a lot.
It deserves more love than what I originally thought.
Yeah, I also
Definitely
made
my top 5.
a couple switcheroos. So for me, my number 1 is Snow White, followed by Three Caballeros, Reluctant Dragon, Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, Saludos Amigos, and then number 8 for me is Melody Time.
Okay.
I really felt this movie was so... While the last movie gave us absolutely nothing, this movie just threw everything at the fucking wall and saw what stuck.
Yeah.
It literally gave us everything.
Yeah.
What's your Disney lesson takeaway?
Don't crash your big boat into a building and murder thousands of potential people. Also, don't be racist towards native peoples. That's cool too.
Don't be racist towards anyone, but...
Yeah, they'll be racist towards anyone.
But especially
Just don't be racist.
Yeah, don't be racist.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be the uncle at Christmas dinner nobody wants to talk to.
Don't be that guy.
Do you have any questions for me?
What do you think? Like?
I'm middle. It was so all over the place, and like there were shorts that put me to sleep, shorts that made me feel like I was on crack, shorts that were just neutral.
I definitely think I'll be thinking about some parts of this movie for sure. Even going on down the line, I'm going to be like, it's that one time in Johnny Appleseed where he fucking died.
Or that one time in Little Toot when he kills everybody.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, That's really all I have to say about the movie. It was cool. I mean, you should go watch it. Honestly, it's one of those movies where you need to go watch it to understand why the fuck we're tripping out about it. Because
we can't really go through and hit everything because a lot of it was visual.
A lot of it literally needs to be seen to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening.
No, well, same thing.
Watching with your ears.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching with your ears. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and throw us a follow on Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube. Also, make sure to leave a review if you really, really liked it. It helps us out a lot more than you think. Make sure to visit our website at discoveringpodcast.podbean.com. There, you can find all the up-to-date shows so far and even some information about us.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I hope you have a good week. Our next episode will be so dear to my heart. See you next time, and remember,
be proud of who you are. But thank you guys so much for sticking with us throughout 2020, throughout 2019. We know we haven't been really here.
We haven't been very regular.
Quarantine hit us hard, bro. Quarantine hit like a truck, and
now that we have a job again.
Yeah, now
after all this time, we can finally start falling back into a sort of routine.
Yeah,
and bring this content back to you guys.
Yeah, but we were literally part of the statistic of the people who lost their jobs, who were on unemployment, who were at risk to losing our house. So it was just such a life-changing thing to happen to us in 2020, and
it was draining doing nothing. It was so
it
was exhausting having all this stuff on our mind all the time, and that's why we wanted to put out episodes, but one, we didn't have the energy, and two, we knew they wouldn't be to the standard we wanted.
Exactly. And so just thank you guys so much for sticking around. 2019, 2020. I hope everyone really does have happy holidays. I know some holidays already passed, and I apologize for not uploading it sooner or for not saying anything sooner, but just happy holidays. You guys probably won't see us till right before the new year comes. So we'll say Happy New Year then and there, but thank you guys so much for supporting a comeback episode. It's literally like one of our most popular episodes to date, and we
love doing this for you guys.
We really do. And I apologize for not saying anything sooner or coming back sooner, but
we apologize for ghosting you.
But thank you for not leaving us on red and for supporting us. So from the Discovering Disney podcast to you,
from Leo and Morgan to you,
thank you. Happy holidays. And we'll see you next time. If you'd like to keep up to date with us, you can always find us on Twitter at @DDisneyPodcast or on our personal accounts. My Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch is LeoTheKing_420. Morgan's Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch are all Queen Morgana 12.